Welcome to episode 46 of the show Too Long Didn't Scroll. Episode 46 marks 46 days with daily news summaries of noteworthy news events from the previous day, allowing you to get your daily news fix without touching your daily news feed. On platforms like YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more, you can use TLDS to find out what was news on any particular day. All links are in the description, and if watching on YouTube, feel free to leave suggestions in the comments section. So we start the events of March the 6th of 2023 in the country of Pakistan, where we center in on the region of Balochistan. The region has been the epicenter of an insurgency and separatist movement on the part of Baloch nationalist groups, aligned with groups like the Tehrik-e-Taliban and Islamist militant groups fighting against the Pakistani government over accusations of its neglect and marginalization of the underdeveloped Balochistan region ever since 1948. The conflict has presently killed thousands of soldiers on both sides, around 10,000 civilians, and displaced around 140,000 people. Terrorist attacks on security forces centers, infrastructure, and civilian centers have been commonplace in recent months, with the recent attack today being on a police convoy near the city of Sibi. A suicide bomber riding on a motorcycle hit a police truck from behind and detonated his bombs, killing at least 9 police officers and injuring around 16 other people. The Islamic State militant group has since claimed responsibility for the attack, as violence in the Balochistan region continues to erupt. In the country of South Korea, many of its citizens are haunted by memories of when the Japanese government pushed some 150,000 people into forced labor in Japanese factories back in World War II, where they had to endure grueling conditions, with some performing outright horrifying work ranging from quote-unquote comfort women and conditions against slavery. Since the war's end, such South Korean civilians have yet to receive a significant amount in the way of apologies or compensation, until today, when the South Korean government has announced they will be paying out compensation for such workers, with many officials across the world having hailed as a groundbreaking move. However, such was met with some controversy, with many South Koreans protesting over the fact that South Korean companies, and not Japanese ones, would have to pay into a public fund to compensate South Korea's own citizens. Such comes after repeated previous attempts by the South Korean government to push Japanese companies to pay compensation to their workers, which has been refused by many, including Mitsubishi and Nippon Steel. South Korea has since stepped back on such a rhetoric, seen by some as a move to improve relations with America-aligned nations like Japan, and this decision has been hailed by Japanese companies. Meanwhile, in the European country of Belarus, crackdowns on opposition activists opposed to President Alexander Lukashenko's iron grip over the country continue, especially after the incarceration of Nobel Peace Prize-winning activist Ales Bialiatsky mere days earlier. As of today, a Belarusian court has sentenced 5 further activists critical of Belarus government to rough prison sentences. Such include politician Pavel Lutushka and activist Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, Maya Maros, Vola Kavakova, and Sergei Dilevsky to prison sentences ranging between 12 and 18 years. Such activists, however, were tried in absentia, meaning they were not present for the trials due to having fled Belarus after crackdowns and protests in 2020. Crackdowns in this present year will likely continue as Belarus and its government continue to exercise their grip over the nation and align themselves closer to Russia. In other news, a landslide in the Natuna Regency on the Sarasan Island in Indonesia has killed around 11 people and buried several houses, and an additional 50 are also missing. And the jeepney driver strike in the Philippines over public transport reform continues as a week-long full-scale strike is organized.